Molinaro. Carla Molinaro in 9th position.
There's so many incredible stories when it comes to the Comrades Marathon. Over 21,200 people that started this race have got over 21,200 stories to tell. But one in particular which has been followed and documented by an Australian filmmaker is the story of a group of individuals that came all the way from Cape Town to actually take part in the race. And more significant is the fact that one of the ladies, the only lady as part of the contingent, Carla Molinaro from Great Britain, actually won a gold medal.
And this year under 7 hours, 6 hours 50 minutes, and she upgrades that to a gold medal, clearly enjoying the down run. Well, it doesn't look like she's enjoying it much there with that look of pain as she crosses the line, but nevertheless a great 9th place for Carla Molinaro.
Thank you.
Carla, yesterday you ran and you smashed out after doing 900 Ks, Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg, and you did it by beating a 40-minute personal best. What the hell?
I don't know.
Who the hell are you?
I don't know.
How the hell do you feel?
Good.
Just good?
No, very good. But it's weird. It hasn't quite sunk in that I've done it. Like everyone keeps saying, well done. But I don't know, I just find it a little bit hard to believe that I pulled that out the bag.
I don't even know how many marathons I've done, to be honest. I haven't got a clue. I've done loads. Half marathons, marathons. In recent years, I use marathons as my weight loss program. So I say that the way that I measure my marathon is how many trousers I can fit into in my cupboard. So when I get down to sort of 10 centimeters worth of trousers, then it means I've got to get on the road again. And it frustrates the hell out of me because then why the hell do I have to do it? So London Marathon, I don't know how many I've done. I've certainly done 4, I might have done 5, I'm not sure, that's irrelevant. But you know what happens is it's sort of every other year. So if I have a look at my wardrobe, I've sort of got a 2016 jersey and a 2014 jersey and a 2012 t-shirt. But I get to a stage where every now and again I have to set myself a goal. So, when I was 60, I had to do a marathon. I did it when I was 60. And I think the next one was, 62 or 63, I don't know. But it goes in cycles. But as I say, for me, running and keeping reasonably fit goes in waves. But running has been my default. I always go back to going for a run.
I ran when I was pregnant with Carla a marathon. Then I thought the baby would fall out, so I'd better stop. And then I stopped running. It was quite difficult. I felt very, very tired. And when you don't know why you feel tired. But I suppose I did about a 3 3/4 hours marathon. It was the Joburg, Nashua marathon, so it was about the 3rd time I'd done it. So it's a nice marathon to do because you kind of know where you're going.
I always kind of ran because Carla ran, so it was like I did running with her. I went to the track with her, and then I was the little annoying sister when we went to the track. Obviously knowing that my mum and dad were always runners, it was kind of always important to me that sport and being fit and healthy was really important. It was like a lifestyle rather than just training or anything. I don't think it was ever like, you have to do sport, you have to be sporty. It was just kind of natural for us, I guess. I see Carla as investing her time into all of these challenges and adventures to inspire other people and other people to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna train for Comrades, I'm gonna train for a run around the Isle of Wight. I'm gonna train for something that's in my reach, kind of thing.
I really don't know what the actual catalyst as such. It was just something that sort of evolved. It started off with a bit of running, and then got into the swimming and running, and then when she, I suppose, started getting into 16, 17, it started becoming a little more serious. And then of course she went into the army, and I think as an officer training in at Sandhurst, that's when I think things became a lot more competitive, because the army was really supportive.
I don't know whether it was the first competition, but she did run around a track somewhere and did come quite last. Maybe not stone last, but near the end. But it didn't seem to deter her. She was just like, yes, I've run it, I've done it, great, now I can do it again. And then she did it again and got a little bit better, and did it again and got a little bit better. Nothing seems to deter her. She's not put off by, maybe someone else would have run a race and thought, oh God, I'm not very good at this, I'll just stop doing it, because then I'll try something else. But she seemed to really enjoy it and like it, and I suppose with a bit of perseverance and determination. She does have a lot of determination.
I've had a pain, well, I had a pain in like the side of my leg just above my ankle for about a month. But I had a marathon coming up, which I was hoping that I was gonna do a really good time and PB on, so I thought I'll go and check it out. So I went and checked it with my friend Paris, who's a physio. She kind of looked at my leg, and I could tell she kind of had an inkling that something was more wrong than I thought there was, but she was like, okay, let's just try a few things and see if we can get you to the start of the marathon. We decided that we would do the marathon on the premise that if it hurt too much, I would stop. Fast forward to the marathon, and the weather is awful. It's absolutely hammering it down with rain from the beginning of the race, and as a result, like the orthotics in my shoes slip forward. So then my heel is hitting down on a carbon plate the whole way through a marathon, which is giving me a blister on my heel. But anyway, I finished the race. Didn't do as well as I wanted. My legs were shot. I couldn't figure out why they hurt so much. Luckily, I told Paris that, when someone winces and they're like, this is really bad, but I just need to double check. So she's going from my right leg to my left leg, to my right leg, to my left leg, and then eventually she just goes, you've got a stress fracture. And I was like, shit. So I kind of knew that it wasn't just a sprained ankle. I knew there was something wrong, but I didn't think it was a stress fracture. And I kind of knew as soon as she said stress fracture, I was like, okay, that's no running for 6 weeks. That's pretty much the diagnosis for a stress fracture. The only way you can get better is not to run. I think I felt like I was the fittest I've ever been and the fastest I'd ever been. And I went into that marathon thinking I was going to do a PB, and I didn't. I somehow still managed to run a 3-hour marathon with stupid insoles and a stress fracture on my leg. So I think that kind of shows that I was fit and I could have run quicker, but I didn't.
I was disappointed for her, because I thought, well, this was probably the end of the run, the end of the ordeal. On the one hand. On the other hand, I know what Carla's like. So I think in my heart of hearts, I thought she was going to get through this one way or the other, because I think that's what Carla does. And I think sometimes, athletes will do things that are maybe detrimental to what they should do, because they have this desire to finish. So they will run when they shouldn't, or they will, they'll keep going. So yes, I was disappointed at the beginning, but there was part of me thinking, well, actually, she'll find a way of doing it.
So I've got another 2 weeks in a boot. So pretty much from when I wake up to when I go to sleep, or a boot. I can take it off to swim, to aqua jog, to shower. And then another 2 weeks of still no running, but no boot. So you slowly start to load the leg again properly. So yeah, I've still got another 4 weeks of being in a boot before I even start rehab. And then it's going to be 5 weeks to Comrades. So last year, I guess it was the amount that we had run to get to the start. I shouldn't have been able to do what I did. This year, I've hardly run at all to get to the start. And I guess it's kind of the similar way where no one really expects me to do anything because I haven't trained properly, or what people would put down as normal Comrades training. I think I've kind of always been quite self-disciplined in most of the things that I've done. Like from growing up, any sport that I've done, I've always wanted to go and train and do it, and so I think I've kind of always had that inside me. With having an injury, you don't know what you can do on a week-to-week basis. So normally I'd have a program for like a full 3 months, where it's literally been week by week building blocks. But I think I've had the discipline to each week sit down and make a new program and add in the things that I could and change things up, so you're training different parts of your body. Like I've tried this year to do a couple of races pacing myself, which it's meant that I've raced easy and I've come in a comfortable time. So I did 2 marathons at the beginning of the year, both sub 3 hours, and it was comfortable, but it wasn't me trying my hardest and it wasn't me racing as hard as I can. And I prefer to race hard and know when I finished that I couldn't have run any faster.
I've really been able to see this leg without any swelling.
Yeah.
This was much worse than I think anybody, I don't know if you knew how bad it would get.
Yeah.
Have you ever made anyone cry? Obviously, last year I came 9th, and like getting top 10 at Comrades is pretty special. But to get a top 10 this year would have been pretty, like even more extraordinary than last year. Last year I was well trained, my legs were conditioned. Yes, we were tired going into it, but our body was used to what we were about to put it through.
Discipline's been incredible. She's not dropped off in terms of effort and in terms of input of getting fit and getting into shape. That hasn't changed at all. She's done the same amount of hours cross training that she would have done running on the road and cross training.
I've definitely felt a lot of pressure this year, and at one point it kind of took the fun away a little bit from running for me, and this injury in like a really weird way has kind of let me think about what I actually want from running. Yeah, I want to race professionally and I want to represent my country, but I think it's really important to keep the fun in there. So I've now decided I'm going to kind of split my year in 2. So my first half of the year will be Comrades, and that will be the focus. And then the second half of the year, I'm going to do trail, because that's fun for me and it's something that I love. And I think if I do road racing and just road and just focus on that all year, I'm going to end up hating it. Where I love Comrades, I do love the road, but trail is something fun and a nice way to mix it up, and will take the pressure off slightly in that second half of the year where you can just go and do things for fun.
It's weird because, I've always wanted to be a professional athlete. Like, for me, starting sport, that's kind of like the dream. But I kind of thought that I was almost slightly past it, just because I was getting older and I hadn't got onto a national team. So I kind of thought, oh well, that's not going to happen, so let me just enjoy running. Then the Comrades project happened. I did Comrades, and then I got selected to represent Great Britain at the World Champs. And all of a sudden the mentality in South Africa is, oh, you're only 34, don't worry, you've got 10 years left of professional running. And all of a sudden everything just shifts. You're like, yeah, why does age have to define your capabilities as an athlete? And there's amazing girls here who are still racing at 45 and winning. So I quite like that shift to know that, oh, actually, if you do keep on going and keep on pushing yourself and keep on doing what you love, that actually maybe you will make a national team one day. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen when you're 18, it can happen when you're 34 or 44 or 50.
I'm really excited. Like every time I think about it, I get goosebumps, and that's been for like the past 3 months. Every time I've visualized the race or thought about it or planned different scenarios in my head, I get excited. And I think even more so because I haven't been able to run properly for 3 months. I now want to go and run. And I want to go and run hard, and I want that feeling of complete exhaustion tomorrow. Because even though I've done cross training, like, you don't really get the same feeling pounding yourselves on the road as you do on a pretend skiing machine.
You want to hear a joke? Why does Rupert Bear wear check trousers? Because he's a twat.
I've done so many different races, but Comrades has got this hold on me, and I don't know what it is. And the first time I did it, I finished it, and I was like, I'm never doing it again. And about 2 hours later, I was like, yeah, I'm here next year. It's so empowering. I don't know why it has this pull and this allure to it that other races just don't have. I think it's like the emotional journey from the start to the finish, the training you do all along the way. Like, my dad did the race, so for me, I grew up with my dad telling me about this crazy race from Pietermaritzburg to Durban, so I kind of always knew that I wanted to give it a go.
I discovered Comrades when Carla, well, there was always talk of it, like, and you'd heard about it, and it's like, okay, it's this crazy ultra marathon that's just kind of in South Africa, and you hear everyone talking about it as people in England talk about the London Marathon, and then when you watch some YouTube Comrades videos and you see them crawling over the line, and it's pretty ruthless when that gun goes off and you're done.
Most people that I spoke to told me that I shouldn't do the race, that I hadn't done the training, and that I shouldn't, why bother doing it? Why don't you just keep on training and do it again next year when you're fitter? But I don't know, I kind of thought, for me, that was an easy option. I wanted to see if I could cross-train, if I could get to the start line, if I could do a Comrades of no running training, and I did. So yes, it might not have been the time that I got last year or the position that I got last year, but I could have bailed, and I didn't bail, and I'm pretty proud of myself that I kind of put myself on the line and gave it a go. And these races that you do, when it hurts so much, it actually makes the ones that go really well and are less painful seem that much sweeter, because you can draw from the pain and you can draw from the experience of this day, and yeah, the easy races then seem that much better than the hard ones.
It turns out that doing a 15-kilometre run as your long run for Comrades is not long enough. Fuck, it was so sore, man. Like, I knew it would hurt, but not that much. So, but I did it. So, my leg was fine. It was just, and like physically, no, like endurance-ly, I was fine. It was just sore. Like every single step hurt, but I guess in the past 3 months I've run 150 Ks, so it's going to happen. I guess from last year's result to this year it's so different and it's a bit disappointing, but that's sport.
This year I couldn't do any lower body stuff for 6 weeks of my rehab and only really started running 3 weeks ago, and that started with a run-walk program, so I wasn't even running properly. So to do 87 kilometers on a course with 1,800 meters elevation when I've pretty much done no training, you know, I've got to be happy with my result. Going into Comrades, I obviously wanted to do better than I did, but having since reflected on it on the past couple of days, I actually think I did quite well, considering I'd done pretty much no running going into one of the hardest ultra marathons in the world. So to just get to the finish line, I'm pretty surprised that my body held up, even though it was probably one of the most painful things I've ever done. Your body is so incredible, and your mind, and it's nice to be able to see that you can push yourself through this pain boundary, that you can do something that not many people thought you could. Your body's capable of more than you think it is, and so is your mind. And I like to see how far I can push mine and what I'm capable of doing. I think I've got way more potential inside me than I've managed to get. I think there's all these races, the good, the bad, the ugly, are, you know, they all add up to experiences that you can draw on. And it's, for me, trying to find that perfect race. And, you know, I would love to be able to cross a finish line and break the tape, and that would be an amazing goal. So I've got some cool races lined up for the rest of this year on the trail. So I'm hoping now I can build up my running over the next few months and get strong on the trail and have some good races this year. I liked the project that there was an adventure element and a challenge, time, distance element. And I do kind of like being able to merge the two. So that's why I quite like the idea of doing like the fastest known time routes, because you get to go and see really cool trails that you wouldn't normally get to go and see, but you also have to do it within a certain time. So there is still that competition element to it, but you're out there by yourself. So you've only, you know, you've got to push yourself and your own boundaries, which I quite like. I don't really mind that it's just me. Like, you know, you've kind of taken yourself through that journey on your own feet, so there's something nice about finishing it by yourself as well.
I'm gonna run that way for 60k towards Lawn.
So I think this kind of thing adds to like myself as a runner. You know, I don't want to just go out and do 10Ks every single weekend and do races. I want to be able to see different countries and run up and down hills and mountains and through different landscapes, and having the opportunity to do this lets me experience that. I think all runners are capable of being able to race and run with friends and run on their own and go on little missions like this. It's just whether you want to or not. And being able to see somewhere slowly on foot is really special. Like, there's not many times where you actually go slowly and take everything in. Like, even seeing some of the cars go up and down the road yesterday, they're literally flying down the road, pulling into a car park, jumping out, taking a picture, getting in, driving off to the next one. And they're not actually experiencing the surroundings that you're in, where for me, I could see, for example, the 12 apostles. I'd been able to see them for like 20 kilometers every time I went round a cliff edge. And then when you actually get up close to them, it's pretty awesome because you can see where you've come from to get to them, and you've been absorbing them the whole way along the coastline. So I think you experience everything a lot more, and it adds to everything I do running wise. So when I set the goal of running this route, like I looked at the distance and I thought, well, I know I can run 60 Ks a day and I'm going to do it in 4 days. So that was kind of a goal that I picked. And yeah, I guess I did set it because I knew I could achieve it, but actually it was way harder than I thought it was going to be. Like the first day of this run was actually quite easy, but I think that's because you're on fresh legs. The trail was really runnable. It was like really hard-packed sand the whole way. There wasn't really anything that technical, so it lured me into this false sense of security.
Didn't think I'd need my gloves again. Turns out I do. 33k. Over halfway.
How's it going today anyway?
Yeah, it's good. It's like there's a headwind the whole way, so it's quite tough. It's like pushing you back. My feet are getting a bit sore where we've been on the road for 33k, so there's like no respite. But I think we're going to go into the park in like 3k, so hopefully it's a bit softer. It's weird, like the first half of the day I count like up the Ks, so you're like, okay, done 1, done 2, but now I'm like over the halfway. Like yesterday with like 10k to go, like everything was quite sore, so then you're like, I just want to get to the end, which is a bit annoying because you want to enjoy it. You don't want to be like wishing the day would hurry up, but at the same time you wish the day would hurry up. You seen a koala yet? Where is the little badger?
That one, look straight up that tree.
Ho-ho! It's a little koala! That's where I've got to look to find koalas. Fuck, man. I thought they were lazy. That is my first ever koala. That is so cool. It's been fun, except stacking it. I've just decorated myself. But yeah, it's been really nice because you're like, there's no cars and you're just on a coastal path the whole way. And it keeps like spitting you out on the beach. So you'll go on the beach for a couple of 100 meters, then back up into the forest, and so it's nice. Yeah, there's times when you're running where it's horrible and you want to stop and everything hurts and you sit on a rock and you have a little cry, and then you get over it and then you carry on moving. I think on a run like this, you're on such an emotional edge, like you're taking yourself like right to your limits. So you're either happy or you want to cry.
Fucked. That was a tough day. It was the bit like from when you started the trail until when I saw you on the beach. It was like quagmire. So you're like sinking in the mud, then you can run like 4 steps and you're sinking in the mud, and then you're slipping in the mud. So you like, it just breaks up your rhythm, and then you just get pissed off because you can't run. So it took, well yeah, my first 30k took 3 hours 20, and the second 37k took 6 hours.
was no point when I thought I wanted to stop. Like, I always knew that I was going to get to the end, even if it took me an extra day and I had to keep on running. But I think in my head, when I'm pretty set on doing something, like, I know I can do it. Even yesterday, like, I knew I could keep on running all through the night while running to the end. You know, I can go and do races where I run as fast and as hard as I can until I can't breathe, and you fall over the finish line, to taking 4 days to do somewhere where your feet hurt so much at the end you can't even walk. So there's lots of different ways you can do it and enjoy it.
It's going to be a long day. It's like this the whole way. Just up and down, and then on the downs they've put these stupid like wooden stairs which are like a death trap, so you can't run on them because they are so slippery. But yeah, it's just slow going, so it's taken me 3.5 hours to do 22k. Yeah. Where yesterday at this time I'd done 30k. So I no longer like kangaroos or wallaroos or wallabies because they keep jumping out of the fucking bushes and scaring the shit out of me. So we're not friends anymore. No, you always want it to be a bit of a challenge. Today was a bit of a challenge. So yeah, I guess you just never think it's going to be as hard as it is.
So it is, you know, it's not all absolutely amazing, but you go through those bits of emotional turbulence, and then you run around a corner and there's a koala in a tree and you're like, oh my God, that's so cute. And then you forget about the pain of 2 seconds ago. So it's this constant highs and lows the whole way through something like this. And I think you can probably go through your life being on one level without taking yourself to this emotional knife edge. But I don't know, for me, it's quite good to do it every now and then to kind of ground yourself again and experience something different. Yeah, like it's quite, like I knew that it was just going to be a road junction, so I think I'd kind of been thinking about that, and I quite liked it that it had been epic the whole way, and then the ending was just like, oh, you're at a T-junction. But I guess it's everything along the way that makes it special. Like, it doesn't really matter where the ending is.
Fuck me. Oh. My feet are so swollen that I just couldn't wait to finish. Yeah, that was emotional. But it's done. 73 Ks today. So,
How many?
73. It's quite far.
What's it feel like to get here and it's just kind of, that's it, it's like done now?
I quite like it that it's like really shit. You know, like the end. I'm on a traffic island. I quite like that. But yeah, it's good to be done. I'm tired.
you.